Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are also going to take a look at this lad. Straight in there with the new Emperor's Champion, and honestly, I think this is pretty good. There's a few things that are not quite there for me, but overall, this is a pretty solid update, interpretation, modernisation, if you will, of the current existing Emperor's Champion, which looks like this, for reference. So, the fact that they've kept it nice and plain compared to the old one, I really like. This is not like overly ornamented. It's not like it's been covered in Maltese crosses or you know, Aquillas or anything like that. They've kept it pretty clean and clear, very much true to this version. The sword as well. Overall, pretty much the same shape, a different thing with the haft/hilt going on, which is fine. I mean, it still looks good. It's maybe a bit more fancy when it comes to the... Is it the hilt? Is it the cross bit that goes at the bottom? Oh my god, I'm so bad at swords. Look, all I know is you hold one end, and then you point them or hit them with the other end. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's all you need to know, right? That's not all you need to know. That's not how that works. But it is a little bit more fancy, but it's not, like, overly so. I will say, I think I prefer the laurel wreath going around the helmet completely from the old one. The new one doesn't look bad. It still looks decent. But it being elevated, I don't know. I think I prefer it being closer to the helmet. There's a nod to the kind of, I mean, prayer beads, I guess, that are hanging round. Like the old one's got the chain around the neck. The new one has got like kind of prayer beads with the Aquila on them. I think I would prefer something over that plain chest piece, just because it would just bring a bit of texture and interest to it. Got the tilt shield, that looks cool. I like the ribbons coming down from the back. Again, a nice touch. Overall, I think this is pretty solid. Also, the helmet's fine. It's not quite as good as the old helmet. Not quite as good, but it's close enough. I think this is a pretty decent version of this model. I will say, in this specific instance, I prefer the pose. That's a good power pose. The only thing I don't like about the pose is the rock. He's standing on a rock, and I just don't think he needs to be standing on a rock. I think he could have just been walking forwards and it would have looked fine. I think also maybe having some sort of corpse on the ground. Now, of course, that can be a bit awkward, because there are those of us who don't want specific bodies on their bases, because it depends on who you're playing. If you're playing against a Tau player, it's weird to have a Tyranid on your base. But then again, it's just a model, so do what you like. I would have preferred there to be some sort of corpse situation going on, as opposed to a rock and a skull. That would be my only criticism. I like the pose, it's just the rock isn't doing anything for me. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I'm not keen on. I think everything else has been done pretty well. As I say, there could be a real temptation with this to go properly overboard, and instead of sticking to this kind of clean look, really go to town with imagery, and they've resisted that. This is actually, you know, it's clean, it's smooth, it's in line with what the Emperor's Champion it's what the Emperor's Champion should be, and I can't help but like it for that. So an interesting side note to this is, there are some nice details on the model itself. It looks good, I do like it. But down the bottom, they mention something. Oh, also, this size comparison, ridiculous. Ridiculous. The lad's been on the juice. He's been on the steroids. Look at the size of him compared to the old one. I mean, I know the base is obviously the base is bigger. It's a bit taller as well. And he's got 1 foot on a rock. But god damn. I mean, that's mental. I don't think I've seen the current Emperor's Champion next to a Primaris model before. I don't think I've seen that. And in fact, I don't know if I've seen it next to a standard tactical marine. I mean, this kind of implies that, I mean, that is a significant upscale. If that's the true size difference, that is pretty crazy. But I can't remember whether I have a feeling that is like slightly below the size of a lot of the newer Space Marine models as it is. I'm not talking Primaris, I just mean just your standard Space Marines. I feel like he's a bit stuntier, a bit shorter. I think in the article as well, they do mention that it's inspired by the 3rd edition one, but I don't believe this one was the 3rd edition one, unless it was released during 3rd edition, because there was a version before this that I remember, which also, funnily enough, 40k Theories Rem also pointed out, I'm sure there was a different one that was not that was like before this guy, but still, good looking model, and the size comparison is great, even if it is just for comedic purposes, because Christ. So interestingly, they say stay tuned to Warhammer Community, where the faithful are sure to receive further blessings very shortly. Now, moments ago, they also put out this article talking about how if you want Kill Team Oxarius, you will be able to get it, alright? You'll just be able to get it. So the way they're doing it is if you pre-order a copy, you will get a copy. If you get there first, you'll get a copy like the next week, but you will get one if you pre-order it. You just might have to wait a while. So it looks like what they're doing is they have a bunch that they've pre-made, that they've manufactured. If you get one of the early ones, congratulations, you get one of the ones that's already been manufactured. If you don't get one of those, then it will be made to order for you and you will get it later. I'm happy with that. Just do that for every single box. Please do that. If you're going to do these limited boxes, make that the default option. And I'll stop bitching about it. I will, because it means people can get hold of it if they want it. But the thing that's interesting about that, which, I mean, really, that could be its own video, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes before we properly tackle that. We'll wait until this pre-order's come and gone and discuss it then. They say here, going forwards, we're looking at ways we can make sure you don't miss out on other awesome box sets too. So if, for instance, there was a sweet new Black Templars launch box on the horizon, just imagine that, then that also sounds like the sort of box we want to make sure you could all get your hands on. So it looks like this lad is just the start. I mean, unless they've thrown that out there to be a bunch of cheeky trolls and to take the piss. It seems unlikely though. So this looks like it might be the first of many, which is interesting. Interesting indeed. And I know a few of you will be quite happy to hear about that. So yeah, I quite like this guy. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think of the chances of a new Black Templars launch box? Excited about that prospect? I'm betting you are. I'm guessing you are. As I say, let me know what you think in the comments down below, both about this lad himself, the massive size difference between him and the older one, and the chances of a new Black Templars box on the way in the future. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe button, so click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to, and as always there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.